So I'm continuing my talk here with Rob Hollister. We're talking about this event, of course, the biggest motorsport event in the Isle of Man, and makes money for the Isle of Man. But this is let's deal with that, shall we? You lay out so much money, and you say it brings in so much money. You're confident still that is the fact that this is very important to Isle of Man PLC?
Absolutely. The Cabinet Office have just published a report that goes into the expenditure and how it affects business. We know that the TT makes around about £34.1 million for the economic value of the island, so that money is generated across the island. It collects around about just £6 million for the Treasury as well, but it does cost money, and it costs around about £7 million to put the TT and the Festival of Motorcycling on. But I still feel that it's great value for the Isle of Man economically, and the numbers do stack up to make sure that we should still be delivering this event going into the future.
A few tweaks this year. I'm just trying to think off the hand, maybe we have more, but the VIP area was sort of new people were running that. The radio commentary was. So should we do those two?
Yeah, well, we've got a brand new company, Everest, who's come in and done taken over the VIP tent. I think they've done a fantastic.
Have they changed it much? I mean, I wasn't there this year, but
yeah, I was in there. I think the level of service had improved, the quality of food had improved, the overall experience. The people I spoke to said it was up on previous years. There's still a few tweaks, there's still a few things we need to get right. We had the proper trophies on display this year. We had Sidecar on display. We had the riders coming in. So from an overall experience, from somebody coming to the Isle of Man and wanting that VIP experience.
These are top-end shelves. I mean, this is not a cheap thing to go to, is it?
It's VIP about £300. So compare it to
a football. More than that as well. If you want to pay more, isn't it?
There's around £1,200 for the platinum. But if you take a standard VIP ticket, compare it to a football match. Unfortunately, what's happened this year, we've had races cancelled because of the rain. So some people would feel they may not have got the experience or the VIP experience they wanted, but we still tried to deliver, a fantastic experience wherever possible.
Race commentary. It wasn't Manx Radio, but it was Manx Radio. It was just called, I don't know, what was it called? Well, I mean, what was that all about, really? It still was Manx Radio, wasn't it? Same voices.
It's still the same product.
Yeah.
I still think, a few people have contacted me, said they were unhappy with the morning show being lost. But what we did is we put some more programs just before the build-up to the commentary of the practice sessions, which I felt a lot of people said it worked as well.
But who was running it? Wasn't it Paul from your end, as such? From what I was hearing, was saying this is what we want. This is the service we want. But there's £100,000. 100,000, and you will do this for it. And before they would do what they wanted to do.
It's slightly changed this year. What we've actually done is to look at the commentary. I think there's been some small changes, but people have felt they were big changes. As you say, we've lost. There's things that we do.
Shows or something.
The chat show in the morning has gone with Chris Kinley, but that's been replaced by two programs in the afternoon, and there's some additional programs added. I think the commentary building up to the practice sessions has improved.
Oh yeah, having a rider in there, I thought these things could have happened years ago, but
so what you
had to force it almost, did you?
Well, we're trying to make subtle changes, and to try and improve the quality of these programs, because they have stayed the same for many years.
Yeah. But it was a humdinger of a senior race day commentary.
I think Manx Radio, really the team had done an amazing job on senior race day. I think again they've done a fantastic job to get information out to the public. There is a few things that we need to look at. I know the police had commented that they would like their sort of morning slot back, so we may need to look at that ahead of next year. Some people have talked about the foreign language, people coming back. So these are all things that we need to just review.
And will it go to a tender? Because you always said it was meant to go to a tender. Have you taken that off the table now?
I think we have to wait until October. No, I've always said that. I've always said that we have to finish with the business of the Tynwald. So there's
nobody else can take it, surely. I mean,
well, again,
it's easier to give it to Manx Radio.
I personally, I've always said this. Personally, I feel
it's the home.
It's got to. I personally would like to see it stay with Manx Radio. Yes, it needs to change. It needs to evolve. I think we're starting to take that way. However, it is now up to Manx Radio to put forward its business case before Tynwald in October.
Of course, that's it. That's where October comes in. It's when they put their
and pending on what happens in that, we may be left with no option but to put it out to tender, or they may come up with a solution which puts everything packaged together.
People still find it odd that it needs £100,000 on top of the subvention to cover it, and you're happy about that, I think.
Well, the original quote was 50,000. We held for that, but the cost have increased. This is more about delivering it, and I know from my own experience when we've just set up a new TT website for fans and for people to get all the information and ticket, hospitality, information, timings and everything. I know of the last 12 months how difficult it is to bring people to that new website and for them to get there from where they've had it previously.
Yeah, let's talk about the new website.
Well,
yes.
So that is taking that element to suddenly ask people to swap and to tune into another radio station or to tune in to get the information from somewhere else. I realised the difficulties of changing from what's been in place for many years.
Why a new website? I mean, what was wrong with? I think it was with Duke, wasn't it, before? Is it just a tender process again, or something?
No,
or
this is
you bought it in house, or what?
This is exactly. It's to bring it in house, to bring everything together. So if people coming to the Isle of Man can access all the information in one place, and it's absolutely right. It should have been done many years ago. Now that shouldn't reflect badly on the job that the previous website had done. I mean, the last website and all those accounts relating to Isle of Man, TT.com.
Does it cost you more now being in-house? I mean, surely isn't everything about getting freelancers to do things rather than having staff to do it?
No, it should save money, and I haven't gone through the figures over the last 18 months, but building the website, delivering it ourselves, all the information, bringing it all in-house, it will save money. And plus, from a TT point of view going into the future, we're a little bit more in control of our own destiny.
Right. To finish with, anything else that's really stood out better, worse, different this time round?
No, I think it's been very good. We've been very challenging. As I said, I think the clerk of the course has done a sterling job this year. I think the army of volunteers have come forward and really supported the visitors, made sure the events happened. I am extremely pleased, but there is obviously...
To finish with then, tourism is your thing.
Yeah.
Horse trams?
Yeah, I have to admit, I personally didn't agree with just running for the short distance.
Right.
They were there.
Well, that's interesting. You had no say in it, though. I mean, it just happens.
No, it was done by DOI. I just felt given...
Is it tourism at the same time?
Well, it is, but given the length of period and given the upheaval on the promenade and everything else, what my focus from a tourist point of view was to make sure our visitors can get on and off the promenade, locals can get on and off the promenade, home early. And if it's a case for 1 year sacrificing the horse trams, I would have actually done that from a tourist point of view in order to allow the flowing on the prom to continue.
Any words of comfort for those people on the promenade, businesses who have now, after the TT's over, it's back, here we go again, the cones are back, presumably all digging will go back.
There will be, and I've highlighted via various questions in the keys, even though I'm responsible for tourism, my concern is for the hoteliers, it is for the businesses on the promenade. And I hope that the Department of Infrastructure have learned the lessons that's gone on in the last 12 months to make sure the next 12 months are seriously looked at, and any upheaval with businesses are communicated well. And if a particular area of the promenade loses parking, that additional parking is put somewhere very close to the businesses in order to enable them to trade, especially coaches when dropping off a lot of people at any given time, which doesn't then block up the promenade.
Well, thanks for joining us. And I should say you'll find out more about what's going on behind the scenes on this one, because it'll be in the blog, your blog. Everything's in your blog. How's that going? How many you've done now? You have kept going on this. I thought maybe you'd kind of get to the point when you realise this is not maybe the best idea in the world, but it's past the corner now, haven't you?
No, it's time consuming. I wouldn't do it, if I stood again in 21, I wouldn't do it. I'd do something different. Right. But I'm up to about 160 blogs. I'm probably up to around about 600,000 words. But again, a lot of people seem to enjoy it. And as I say, some people...
It causes interest, doesn't it? I've already read one, but I read about it, of course. That's probably fatal. I need to read more.
Yeah, but it's a case I tried to take a topic, so I'll give you an advance of this week. I'm going to be talking about MHK's and MLC's expenses. So that's this week's topic.
Another subject we could talk about. Anyway, thank you. And overall, you're happy where you are, by the way?
Absolutely love
doing
it.
This. You want to keep it
I absolutely love it. It's when we talk about reshuffles, I do sometimes, now I'm in this role, I do wonder if reshuffles or shuffling of members or, is the right thing, because it has taken us a long time. And I genuinely believe that the team within DFE, who've done a fantastic job over the last 12 months in extremely difficult circumstances, have now set down the foundations for a better TT and a better experience for our TT fans visiting the event in the future.